Hey friends and neighbors, welcome back. How are you today? Or maybe I should say tonight. It's starting to get pretty dark out there. Old Brad coming back to you with another little video on one of my favorite all-time cartridges and my most favorite all-time competition slash duty slash carry weapon, the venerable government model 1911 A1 style chambered in 38 Super Auto. Yes sir, friends and neighbors, one of the finest calibers ever put in the government model platform, and almost lost to obscurity in time until competition shooters discovered it back in the late 70s and early 80s. And I'm going to tell you what, she's been around ever since and been doing some fine work. So without further ado, let's go ahead and change camera angles and get some stuff set up, get some parts in here, and we're going to talk about this beautiful little cartridge that does such a wonderful job. Be right back. Stand by. Hey, welcome back folks. Another edition of, hey, what's your favorite gun to play with? Folks doing all right tonight, I hope you are. Getting ready to throw another video at you here. One of my favorite, all-time favorite, duty, defense, carry, competition weapons. I'm talking about none other than a weapon chambered in a cartridge that was almost lost to time and obscurity, almost 100, well, the cartridge is over 100 years old. Pretty close to it. It has its birth in a cartridge of the same size, just lower pressure. We're talking about 38 Super Auto, the ancestor of the Colt 38 Auto ACP, chambered in Colt's auto weapons pre-1911, the 1908s, 03s. At the turn of the last century, semi-auto self-loading pistols were coming into the civilian market at a fairly good clip, and people were starting to kind of pick up on them. A lot of your old heads, they still wanted their stick guns or wheel guns, but a lot of people were enamored with especially the Colt semi-auto pistols, and were picking them up in 32 ACP and 32 Smith, and eventually 380 ACP. But at that time in there was also the advent of the 38 Auto, Colt 38 Auto. Now this was not the Super Auto, it was the Colt 38 Auto. Basically the exact same dimensions case-wise, more or less, and bullet weight, but with non-smokeless, non-modern propellants. They achieved modest velocities, and they were a good round. With the advent of commercial loading with modern smokeless powders, hand loaders and factory commercial industries both discovered that with these new powders, you could achieve greater velocities with this cartridge and many others. One of the foibles of doing that was the fact that a 38 Auto cartridge loaded with modern smokeless powder achieving greater velocities also achieved greater chamber pressure, and those cartridges could be substantially dangerous to shoot in one of the early Colt pistols designed for just the straight 38 Auto low pressure round. So when the 1911 was having its heyday, and long about, I think, 1928, the 38 Auto became the 38, actually Colt called it the Colt Super 38 Auto, or the Colt 38 Super Auto. Something like that. You can look it up. You'll find it all over the net. Suffice it to say, they called it Super Auto to differentiate that this was the pistol, this was the cartridge that was above and beyond the old 38 Auto. And you only wanted to use this cartridge in 1911 platforms. They were much stronger. They were designed to handle that chamber pressure. They handled the chamber pressure of 45 ACP. They certainly would handle this. The old early Colt semi-auto pistols, the slide design was different. The slide design was open. And you could literally put a high pressure cartridge in there, and after a magazine or two, quite possibly, go ahead and launch that slide right on off the back of the pistol into your face, and that wasn't any fun. Now, not only was the 1911 model chambered in the 38 Super, but another iconic weapon of that era was also chambered in this cartridge. I'll give you a few minutes to take a wild guess. All right, a few seconds. Aficionados of the Thompson submachine gun will tell you without a doubt, Thompson also chambered their 28A1 in this cartridge. Now you think an 80 round drum of 45 ACP is badass. Can you imagine a door and windshield penetrating bullet, 130 grain, doing 1,350 feet per second? Probably get about 130 or 140 of them bullets in one of them drums. Oh my God, talk about a Chicago typewriter. You could write a whole lot of walking papers with that and one magazine. So the cartridge kind of became known as a pros cartridge. Any competition going on with semi-auto pistols at that date, if there was any, and I'm not privy to all the information on it, would have been happening with 45 ACPs. But the cartridge also gained quite a following in Latin American countries, Mexico, Central America, South America, and other countries where private citizens were prohibited from owning weapons in calibers that were military calibers. So you couldn't have a 9mm, you couldn't have a 380, you couldn't have a 45 ACP, but you could have a 38 Super. Man, talk about nothing to kick about. Geez, too bad I can't have a 7-shot 45. I guess I'll have to put up with having a 10-shot 38 Super with velocities and bullet weights that get right up there just below the bottom of 357 Magnum, and they do. The factory loading for this cartridge has been a standard for decades and decades, a 130 grain bullet at in excess of 1,300 feet per second, and sometimes, if you load right and got it, approaching 14. That's 357 mag velocities. A 10-shot 357 Magnum in a semi-auto pistol with a third the recoil. Ain't nothing to kick about there. Now we got some magazines here. Factory mags. This is, by the way, introduction to Kimber Target Stainless 2. Factory mags, no bump pads, 9-shot round. This is a Megcar magazine. It's the only black magazine I own for this, and it's the only Megcar magazine I own for it. And you talk about having an absolute hell of a time getting that thing tuned to the point where it actually was viable for use, and I still make it the last magazine to come out if I need to. Got a couple of 9-rounders here from Chip McCormick and 3 Shooting Star 10-round magazines. So you poke that puppy full with 10 rounds, stick one in the chamber, you have 11 rounds of 357 mag velocity stuff at your disposal without reloading. Nothing to kick about there. Quite the pistol. One thing, if you're going to have one of these and do a lot of shooting and carry a lot of magazines loaded up for a long time, invest in springs. We all know with semi-auto pistols and rifles, any weapon that feeds itself, springs are the lifeblood, and without good springs, things don't work right. Now, because I carried this weapon for years, not only as a competition weapon, but as a duty weapon and a self-defense weapon and a carry weapon, most of these mags spent daily rides over the course of months at a time, fully stoked, locked, and loaded. Now, not all of them at the same time. Usually 4. And I would rotate. After a month or 2 or 3, empty those mags, stoke the other ones back. But over a period of time, that will have a slight effect, depending on who makes your spring, on that spring tension. And spring tension is the lifeblood of this weapon, as it is with any other self-loading weapon. So use them a lot, get you some extra springs, learn how to put them puppies in. Now, the round that I use is the Hornady HAP action pistol bullet. It's not a hunting round, and it's not a full metal jacket round. It is a defensive round. It is a hole drilling, cavity creating piece of lead. It's designed for shooting basically in competition. The lead isn't super hard inside, but it gives great accuracy. The jacket isn't super thick, so it's not going to drill completely through a person. It's going to get in there and do the damage I want it to do in the least number of shots. And I know it will, because I've sent that bullet into some animals. One shot, stop and drop. That includes hogs. I hit a 200-pound feral sow at 80 yards in the spine. She dropped right there and stayed there. Yeah, she thrashed around for a little bit and put blood all over the grass, but she stayed right there. So I know this weapon works, and I know that cartridge works, and it does a damn fine job. And like I said, about in the late 70s, early 80s, competition shooting was just, especially in IPSC, was just about all 45 ACPs. And they had major power factor, and a couple of guys, and I can't remember their names, but I think they were from California, which is really weird. They might not have been. Picked up this cartridge one day and thought about it and said, you know what? This might make a hell of a cartridge for competition. It feeds really nice. When you put a magazine in a 45 ACP and hit that slide release, it rips home, but it does so with a little clacking and jacking. You can hear it. There's a great big old bullet going home. And the slide gets a little bit clunky. That one's dirty. Some of it ain't dirty. But when the slide goes home on this pistol, tell me if you hear any clunk. And there is no one to my left. There's nothing but a brick wall. This is safe. See how fast that went home? Real fast. So, I thought, they work so well. And because the 45 ACP in IPSC competition had what they called major power factor, which is a combination, a mathematical equation determined by velocity and bullet weight and mass. 9mm could not achieve that, and anyone using a 9mm therefore was in minor power factor, and they would receive a one-stroke penalty for every shot because they were going minor. That would cost them. But even though this is just 1/10,000th of an inch larger, 0.355 is 9mm, this is 0.356, a 357 diameter bullet. And because you can push it well over 1350, by that mathematical equation, it does in fact achieve major power factor, and therefore you don't have to worry about them pesky little extra penalty strikes. Nothing to kick about there. So yeah, it's a heck of a round, and I have used this weapon, God, a lot of matches over the years, and I've had good success with it, and it's a fine shooting weapon. And I tell you what, when you get your hands on a Kimber that does what this one will do, just shooting in the regular production class, you can be amazed. Now this is a single stack magazine weapon. I have gone home with I don't know how many trophies from a match where I competed against 20 or more people. Every one of them except for one guy running double stack magazine weapons. A single stack weapon taking placement and trophies away from double stack magazine weapons in 9mm, 9x21, and 9x22. So suffice it to say, it's a great caliber, but it ain't magic. You're going to have to do your part too. And I tell you what, you get a wild look on somebody's face when they have to burn up 1.5 magazines double stacked to knock down 10 little plates, and I can do it with one. Nothing to kick about there. So we've kind of gone over that. Like I said, this thing picked back up. It's been all over the scene. It's a 9x23, but with 357 bullets. In fact, you get the right barrel, chambered right, they'll both shoot out of it. So without further ado, we're going to grab some magazines that are clean inside and don't stick like that one did, unless that's lint or something. And some ammunition, and we're going to head out to the range, and we're going to put up some stuff, and a little steel plate, maybe a few veggies to shoot, soda bottles, something like that, and let's just see what this little puppy will do and have a little fun with it, because I ain't shot it in months. I'll tell you what, this damn COVID stuff just had me all in an uproar. So, stand by. We're going to grab some stuff. We're going to get out the door. We'll be right back. This is a public service announcement. Invariably, in videos such as this, two primary questions or comments will inexorably pop up in the comment section. Please stand by for a preemptive answer to those two very important main questions, after which we may all proceed with the enjoyment of the rest of the video. Question 1. Does the 38 Super Auto perform? I would submit that it does. Question 2. Invariably I hear this. You talk the talk, but do you walk the walk? As my YouTube guru hero, Sir Harold would say, you be the judge. Now, thank you for listening to this important public service announcement, and now we will return to our regularly scheduled broadcast. Welcome back, folks. Well, we got all our stuff together and we made it out here to the range. Got us a target board set up. Got a few other little gewgaws and doodads hung around too. First thing we're going to do is crawl on a target here and see what kind of accuracy we're getting with the load that we're shooting. Now the load is a 125 grain Hornady HAP, Hornady action pistol load. I run about 5.6, 5.7 grains W231 in it. Does a fine job. Run about 1300. So we're going to look at the accuracy on this. We're going to fire a magazine full, see how she does. And I brought a few other odds and ends, what they like to call reactive targets. And we'll put a few rounds into them and see what kind of energy demonstration we can get from this little cartridge. It's kind of a second cousin to a 357 mag. So without further ado, and before the wind gets too high, let's give it a shot. Hey, what do you think? Now, we're shooting at 25 yards. Not really shooting for absolute accuracy, just shooting as fast as I can shoot and still have a good hit. Or I think I can have a good hit. And so far, the old girl's doing what she ought to do. First magazine, second magazine. Pretty sure. That's what it looks like, but they might be mixed. But I'll tell you what. You cover that with a coffee cup. Not bad. All right. Let's set something up a little different and get a little demonstration on energy of this round. Stand by. Alrighty. As you might have noticed, one of my favorite little reactive targets is 2 liters of cheap ass pop. So let's see what kind of energy results we get from the, let's see, 38 Super. See how to do. I got pretty good whack to it. Like that, the jug's gone. Can't beat that. Ha ha, yeah, baby. Woo-hoo! Soda pop bleeding all over the damn farm. Burdette. Nathan Burdette. Yeah, I always want to do that. Hey, let's shoot at something else. What do you say? Oh my God. I'm just walking along, getting my stuff set up. I turn around. A wild watermelon. Just hanging out in the middle of my target zone. What the hell is going on? We're going to have to fix that. Okay, folks. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed making it. I have a lot of fun with them. Any of you that have never owned a 38 Super, you don't know what you're missing. They are fun, fun, fun. A lot of fun, and they're very accurate, and they pack a punch without a whole lot of extra recoil. So if you ever have the chance to get your hands on one, what the hell is that? October 1st, it never fails. October 1st, everything is pumpkin spice latte flavored shit. Probably got pumpkin spice latte flavored prime rib. I wouldn't put it past them. We're going to have to do something about that. Alrighty then. Well, folks, I hope you had as much fun watching the vid as I did making it. It's always nice when you get out here and get some reactive targets and have a little fun, sweeten up the grass a little bit. The deer and the coyotes and quite possibly the hogs are going to have a little bit of a snack tonight, but maybe I should just get the rifle lights and come back out and look for them. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the 38 Super. If you have a chance, if you don't own one and you have a chance to get one and you can get it for a good price, man, I'd scoop it up, because I've had 3 of them. I had fun with every damn one of them. They are great pistols, low recoil, fast action, fast recovery, super subsequent shot rates. They're just too fun to play with. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. I had fun. I made a little mess. Now I'm gonna go clean it up because I'm the entire crew myself. But y'all be sure to stop back by on the next one. Don't know what it'll be. Probably involving 41 Magnum. We're gonna work our way up a little bit. So anyway, you guys have a great night. Welcome to October and pumpkin spice everything. You guys have a great night. Be good to yourselves, be good to your family, love your family, try to love yourself. I love you guys. Thanks for stopping by. See you later. Bye.